I've achieved so much in my life that I credit to, and this may sound delulu, but you know what's even crazier? Proof that it's working. Make something positive out of the negative. These things have actually made a really profound change in my life. I'm happy now. I'm going to tell you how I've learned to be happy and stay unbothered. And this is after taking 2 major L's tonight. Number 1, my Drake tickets got messed up. Champagne Puppy, please come back. Tonight I found out that my Drake tickets got cancelled and I have plane tickets and a hotel booked for another part of the country. R.I.P. BBL Jersey. He was gonna fall in love with me at that concert. Anyway, and I just recorded this whole video and the audio wasn't working. But listen, everything is fine. Everything is so fine because I've implemented quite a few steps in my life to make me feel like so much better, and I'm gonna impart my wisdom on you. It's still all a work in progress. This is what I've been wanting to do for ages, is like share my journey of how I'm like getting through things, because I am so deep on self-improvement and it's changing my life so positively that I'd love to share about it with you. Number 1, reaffirm the person who you want to be. I think this is one of the most important things that you can do, because in order to change your life, you kind of have to sacrifice the old version of yourself. You know, like the Taylor Swift music video when she's like, sorry, the old Taylor can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because she's dead? It's because that's what you need to do. You need to kill off the old version of you to become a better, happier version, and continue reaffirming that new identity to yourself. And the best way, literally affirm yourself as who you want to become. I used to have a journal where I'd write down affirmations about myself, of how I envisioned the best version of myself to act or be. I would write down, I have magnetic energy and beautiful addictive personality, and I radiate confidence. I am a light in people's lives. And this may sound delulu, but you know what's even crazier is when people started reaffirming these things back to me. Do you want to guess what my friend said to me one day? Nicole, you are so magnetic. And that was literally the line I had written down every day in that journal. And that's when I knew. I was like, there's something to this shit. So if you choose to believe it, you can. If not, if you're the type of person who is happy and prospering and exactly who you want to be, then this video is not for you. And honestly, I'm way happier than that's your case. Like, I'm way happier if that's who you are, because you deserve it. Like, I see so many pretty girls put themselves down, say negative shit about themselves. I'm like, no, stop it. Stop being negative about yourself. Oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm not the type of person who can do this, I'm not good enough. Like, no, stop it. Start reaffirming positive things about yourself. And if it's really hard to believe initially that you can do something, maybe start with something more feasible that your mind can accept. So if you're trying to become fitter and you find it really hard to say, I'm someone who has abs, or I love to exercise, if those things seem too far away from your identity right now, it might help to take baby steps. So like, affirm something a lot easier that's believable to you. Like, I choose to eat healthy food. I'm someone who eats healthy. Maybe that's your first step towards becoming fit. And that's like a part that you can accept. Or I'm someone who loves to run. And then by virtue of doing the small habits that lead to the greater identity, you will slowly see yourself becoming the person who you want to be. Like, actually changing your identity is scientifically proven to help you achieve greater results with whatever it is. That's why if you're a smoker and you want to quit smoking, you don't say, I am trying to quit smoking. You say, I am not a smoker. You start labeling yourself as the person who is the identity of what you want to embody. For example, now, like after this video was deleted, I was like, I am someone who perseveres. I have achieved so much in my life that I credit to just simply like believing that I am the person who does that sort of thing. And even filming this video is like proof to myself that I continue doing this. I subconsciously did this during my exams. I would tell myself, I am a beast, I am a weapon, like I'm an academic weapon. It may be difficult at the start. If you do not follow through with the actions which coincide with that identity, you may feel some intention, like you're lying to yourself. But that tension is actually proof that it's working. Because if you keep saying, I am the type of person who does this to yourself, and then you're like, oh wait, but I'm not doing the actions which lead to this outcome. There's like this weird gap between like who you're affirming yourself to be and how your actions are. and you suddenly start to feel this discomfort between what you're saying, and maybe you're even telling people, which is even better because other people can be a great tool to keep you accountable, right? And same with these videos. Even I kept telling people I'm gonna film YouTube videos, and then suddenly when I wouldn't be posting a video or working on it, I feel this inner tension, and that forced me to work. That was literally my motivation to get up and start grinding. So that might be perfect for you, because a lot of people are like, oh, stay silent about your goals, don't tell other people your goals. But telling other people your goals can be a great way to progress, because suddenly you have this social pressure, which you can use that to channel whatever you want to become. And if you so realize that it's no longer a purpose that you want to pursue, that's totally fine. But it's a great way to get you feeling a little uncomfortable, because sometimes that is the push that you need to make progress. And a lot of progress is about feeling uncomfortable, unfortunately, but that's because it's something you're not used to. You are not used to being this new person with these new actions. So you will feel uncomfortable, but that's a sign that you're moving in the right direction. Obviously not if you feel intense discomfort, you should not continue. But just sharing my experience, posting myself on the internet, I was like, oh my god, what are people gonna think? It's literally fine. It's literally so fine. I am the type of person who can post myself on the internet and feel comfortable. Affirm yourself as someone who is positive, who is happy, who has abundance, has a wealth, and you will start to see reality shift to accommodate for those things, because you are demanding more, which you should. You should demand more of your life. That is why I'm preaching that till the end. If you do not tell the world who you are, the world will decide who you are for you. That's a bar, write it down. Anyway, I'm gonna go on a little tangent. Here's the circle and here's the tangent. That's a little math joke for you. In case you do maths, love guys who do maths, hit me up. And it's recycled because I already filmed this and I remember it. I started meditating. I was thinking of doing another video about it because I have so much to say about meditation and how much it's helped me. But I've started noticing my internal state shift. This is if you are struggling with the practical steps of affirming a new belief for yourself, a new reality for yourself. Do you think the old self of you wants to die? No. Like we said, Taylor Swift killed her old self. But did you think that old self wanted to die? No, it wants to live on. The version of you that you've created, your thoughts and beliefs, it's fighting for it to exist. So it will make you doubt yourself. And what I do when I notice something that has triggered my emotions to change, I will put it down in ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to help me understand the emotion and how to best move on from it and embody my higher best self. So ChatGPT will spit out a bunch of facts because it has so much information about me, which is kind of low-key, kind of scary, but AI is the new way. So if you're not using AI for your self-improvement, here you go. Here's a gift from me. Use AI to help you improve. Your improvement will be exponential. It's like a 24/7 therapist that's available for you, which is insane, and it's free. It tells me so many different ways of how to understand where this emotion is coming from and how to improve upon it, and then how to embody the best version of myself. So that has just made me happier, knowing that I can tackle these problems, having logical, impartial advice on how to move forward with a problem is invaluable and will exponentially improve your self-improvement. Hydrate, baddies. Anyway, even by the time you finish reading what ChatGPT says, I guarantee you will feel so much better. In the past, I used to reaffirm all these negative things about myself, which kept me in this loop that I was so stuck. I'm guilty of reaffirming negative things about myself. Posting myself online is cringy. I would reaffirm things into reality, which made it more difficult for me. I would literally tell people I'm a people pleaser. And that brings me to number 2. Something that has made me so much happier is to stop people pleasing. Stop people pleasing, okay? Through therapy, I've been able to unearth so much about old patterns of behavior I have that are deeply rooted in the way that I act and understand where they've come from. And that's why this video is sponsored by BetterHelp. Better help me pay my bills and like this video. Psych. Better help yourself by listening to my advice. I'm not yet sponsored, but hey, maybe I'll affirm that into my reality and be like, I'm sponsored by everyone. Sponsorships flow to me abundantly. You don't have to work with a therapist. You could also do journaling or shadow work to understand mental frameworks that you have. For example, I'll put up some questions on screen. I used to think that the best way to go about life, like the correct way, as if there is one, is to be nice to everyone, and that if I put out a bunch of positive and like loving energy into the universe, it will come back to you. Well, I still believe in positivity, but like there is a line that you have to draw. You cannot be kind to everyone. And sometimes being kind when people are not kind to you is incorrect. And it will make you feel so much worse. You have to withdraw your energy from things that do not serve you. When you withdraw your energy, things sometimes tend to work out way better and in your favor. When you just pull back, this works with so many things in life. It works with dating, friendships, work. Maybe don't fully stop working. Maybe don't like suddenly stop doing your job. But if someone is not respecting the effort that you're putting in, start doing the bare minimum. Stop giving them energy. Like, I'm speaking to myself right now, by the way. I'm not trying to be angry at you. And I also have a friend who puts in so much love, so much work into this role that she has. And she's constantly upset about how no one is valuing all the work that she's putting in. And I want to be like, girl, stop. Just pull away your attention and let people see how much you are actually doing. Because when you suddenly stop putting effort in, people will be like, things are a bit odd, you know? Why isn't all this done? Why aren't things working as smoothly? And they will begin to notice what an impact you had on their lives. Oh, just to tie something back, like it's kind of weird if someone is like overly nice, no? Like, isn't there that one person where like you see them going out of their way to do things for people, even when people are rude for them? You kind of start to like that person less, no? And it's kind of weird and unnatural. Like, that's the crazy thing I learned through therapy. It's like, you are not meant to be kind to people who are not kind to you, which may be so like intuitive for some people, and I'm really happy if it is. But that was a wake-up call for me. Like, there probably is someone in your life who you'll kind of feel strange the way that they're like always nice. And this is what people have told me about myself, actually. They're like, Nicole, how are you so sweet and so kind? It's because I have anxiety, babes, and because I know how much emotionally things affect me. So I try and like put out how I want to be treated. But it is strange, right? When you notice someone else like kind of putting aside their own needs for other people, you kind of want to shake that person. Like if you saw your friend burning themselves out for you, you would tell them there is no need to do that. Like, I think I'd respect someone more if they had enough boundaries to leave a conversation or tell me no, rather than put their own needs aside to continue that conversation. You should be your number one priority in life. And people who look out for themselves way more than other people get called selfish. But at the end of the day, they are the ones who are living the better life and get better things in life. And that's like something that I needed to understand and like embed, and I'm trying to embody that by putting myself first. The way I've been raised is to put aside my own emotions for other people. Like, maybe your parents instilled this in you. Like, did you ever have guests and maybe you felt uncomfortable, but your parents will put aside your needs to cater for the guests? That is younger you being subconsciously told that other people's needs are more important than yours. I'm not trying to make this overly dramatic, but it's an important point that has taught me to be so much happier, put myself first, because those people are the ones who tend to be more respected. The way you treat yourself, this is a crazy breakthrough that I had for myself, is that you teach people how to treat you based on how you treat yourself. You literally tell people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. That's another bar right there from me. You tell people how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. If you constantly put aside your own needs, people will start doing that to you too. Like, I bet there is someone who you're around who treats and thinks of themselves highly. Tell me that hasn't actually influenced the way that you view them. Because they're so respectful of their own needs, you know not to push them and to push their boundaries, which is actually leads me on perfectly to my third point, which is boundaries. Why does it look like I'm throwing up a gang sign? Number 3, having boundaries and sticking to those boundaries and asserting the boundaries. That's the caveat. You can say you have boundaries. If you do not follow through with them, then this is ineffective. And this is very difficult, especially when it comes to family and friends, because they're the closest people in our lives, and we already have pre-established like patterns of behavior with them, which are so difficult to shift. I can tell you from personal experience. And it's very difficult to switch up on them because they know how to like test you in weird ways, and they might question why you're suddenly like putting up this barrier. But in your self-development, you have to have so much faith and trust that you're doing this for yourself. So it's clear to outline what boundaries you have. Like, I can give you an example from my own life. I'm gonna be a little bit vulnerable here, but like my dad usually wants me to like help him with stuff in the evening, and he will come back late from work. But that is when I'm at my most tired, and I know I tend to get emotional before bedtime. I'm just a girl, guys. I'm doing my best. But like, that's just how my body works at the moment. Practically speaking, I am the worst version of myself at that moment that he could ask for help. And I would tell him like, oh, I'm tired, I need to go to sleep. And yet I will still stay downstairs with him and help him complete whatever task he needs to do. And I love my dad, he is awesome, but sometimes my dad would not be happy with me or get annoyed with me. So even though I would say this to him, every time I'd get tripped up in feeling guilty, I'd end up like helping him with his work and staying downstairs. But what I have learned through therapy actually is that you need to follow through with the words that you say. So you would tell the person, I am tired, I'm going to sleep. This is not a time that I am available, which is completely fine. Like we're saying, withdraw your energy from things that are draining it, and then follow through, because people will not respect you. Like, imagine you were a kid and your parents tell you that you cannot use your phone before bedtime, and then you sneak downstairs and steal your phone back and start using it. And they find you using the phone and they just don't say anything. Those rules will mean nothing to you, and you will continue to break them. In a weird way, you have to punish people who don't respect your boundaries. And punishment might sound like extreme, but punishment could literally just be withdrawing your energy from them, like not paying them attention. That can be one of the most like hurtful things, like silence or just simply moving out of the situation. Like for me, with my dad, I just wouldn't engage in the conversation anymore. I felt really rude because I have been brought up in an immigrant household where the thing is like you respect your parents. Like whatever your parents tell you, you do. You don't question it. But as soon as I started doing what I felt like I needed and my body needs, I am so much happier for it. So that's why I'm sharing it. Another example is with my toxic friends, which I had plenty of growing up. So this is where I'm coming from and why I'm so passionately talking about this topic. I used to have friends who would make me feel bad about not wanting to do things with them. Like for example, this was in like middle school. We would be allowed out at lunchtimes, and I went to grab a lunch with one of my friends, and I come back and my other friend says to me, I'm going out for lunch, do you want to come with me? And I told her, well, I've already been out, so I wouldn't. And she was like, okay, so I'll just starve then. And I'm like, and it triggered this like guilt complex in me where I was like, oh my god, I'm responsible for this. And bro, I felt so guilty. Baby teenager Nicole caved and she went to get that lunch. Do not feel guilty about upholding your boundaries. Like we said, you place yourself first. You're a baddie, you are number one. Remember that. You are telling people how to treat you. If you treat yourself like number one, other people will treat you like number one. It's a crazy concept, but it works. And I'm so much happier for it. And if people get upset when you assert your boundaries, it is not your problem. It is not your problem. Because I learned this from therapy and it's completely revolutionized my life. You are not responsible for the way people feel. Let me say that again. You are not responsible for the way people feel. For the people in the back, you are not responsible for the way people feel. People choose how to interpret situations. If your friend came up to you and expressed to you, they cannot do something for you because they have to put their own needs first, you would respect that, right? So why shouldn't people do the same thing for you? For example, if you were out with your friend and they told you, I feel really emotionally low right now, I'd like to go home and rest, you would respect their boundaries, right? So Other people should do that for you. Do not feel bad about asserting your boundaries with other people. And if they get mad at you, that's their issue. It might be a sign that you're in a toxic relationship if someone is not prepared to respect those boundaries. Like, if they're getting upset that you are no longer doing something that doesn't serve you, like, your friend should think in your best interest. Like, really think about it. If you were hanging out with your best friend and they shared with you that they are not feeling good emotionally and need some time to recharge, you would support that person if you're their real friend, right? You wouldn't make them feel bad about trying to do what's best for them. It's so weird and twisted, and I hope I've explained well like how I feel. I'm really passionate about like self-improvement because it's got me very far, and I really wanted to make a video on it, and I wanted to make a good thing out of the bad things that happened today, if that makes sense. And you can always do that, I believe. That's actually what I'm trying to affirm in my own life right now, is that I can move through any obstacle which comes my way. So despite me losing the Drake tickets and literally filming a 15-minute video that is on mute, you know that bar that Drake is like, shit 10 trying to rap, it's good on mute. Yeah, that was me. That was the first video that I filmed. Guys, F in the chat. Yeah, but I just wanted to make something positive out of the negative. So let's see if this video sees the light of day, because I am actually stepping outside of my comfort zone to post a video where I'm just talking straight to the camera. But I feel like these things have actually made a really profound change in my life, and maybe sharing them will help someone. You know, if it helps one person, I'm happy. I'm happy now. I'm slowly learning to detach from external things to increase my happiness, and you're here for a small part of my journey, which is beautiful that I can share this with people on the internet. I hope you will have a lovely evening and continue being happy.